Hey my loves, welcome to my podcast or welcome back to my podcast. My name is Kat and I'm the creator of this podcast, which is called Finding Kat, and this is episode number 15, and this episode is actually brought to you by my new workbook, New Year, New Intentions. This workbook is an interactive, downloadable workbook designed to help you create intentions for the new year and to keep you on track monthly, weekly, and daily when it comes to creating the life you desire. So if you want to create a roadmap to success in this new year, then click the link in my bio, subscribe, and enjoy your workbook. So today's episode is a new episode, of course, it's a new type of episode. It is a book review. So today I will be talking about the 4 agreements, and I will be talking about each point and just explaining my favorite parts of the book, what I took from it, and just giving my little review. Now, this book does have 130 pages. It is, the lettering looks like it's 15. It doesn't look like a 12 font, it looks like a 15, if I'd be specific. And it is an amazing book, bro. So there's 7 chapters in this book. The first one is domestication and the dream of the planet. And then you have 2 through 5, which are the 4 agreements, and then you have 6 breaking old agreements, and 7 the new dream heaven on earth. So this book, it doesn't bullshit. It literally, bro, I was highlighting. I think I ran out of a highlighter for how much I highlighted in this book. It's insane. So the 4 agreements, to explain it, I'm gonna read the little back, but it says, in the 4 agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz reveals the sources of self-limiting beliefs that rob us of joy and create needless suffering. Based on ancient Toltec wisdom, the 4 agreements offer a powerful code of conduct that can rapidly transform our lives to a new experience of freedom, true happiness, and love. So reading this book, it felt like the book I needed, because I felt completely lost. I felt like I couldn't do it. I felt like, what the am I doing? All the limiting beliefs you can think of, I thought of, right? And I remember seeing this book. It was only for $12.95, but don't let the price fool you. It's such a good book. But trust me, less than $15 for this book is literally an investment in your mind. So I actually mention a few phrases that I really do enjoy and I really wanted to mention. So certain phrases that were in the first chapter of the book, which I really enjoyed, were: attention is the ability we have to discriminate and to focus only on that which we want to perceive. We are so well trained that we are our own domesticator. I remember when I got in trouble in 1st grade, I went to go hug my teacher. She got mad at me because I accidentally spilled her water. I don't know how it happened, right? We're in the cafeteria. She screamed at me in front of everyone, and she put my nose to the wall, correct? And I remember talking to myself I'm such a bad person. I can't believe I did that. I literally was hating on myself at the age of 6, bro. True justice is paying only once for each mistake. True misjustice is paying more than once for each mistake. I always felt like I was always having to deal with my mistakes. If I had made a mistake a couple days ago or a couple months ago or a couple years ago, it would be brought back into the situation. The moments I'm speaking about, they were really rough moments for me and my family, so my family did not know how to handle the situation other than what they handled it as, and they handled it as the best they possibly could, which I really am grateful for, between my mom and my dad. So growing up though, I really felt like I had to deal with the mistake multiple times. When you have to tell, let me know if I'm not the only one, but being a daughter of 2 divorced people, or just daughter, son, whatever, you have to kind of explain your mistake to your mom and then explain your mistake to your dad, and you have to dealing with the repercussions of the mistake 2 times for no freaking reason. You already dealt it with your mom. Why do you have to deal with it with your dad? But of course you do. And It's like, why do we have to always hold ourselves? And we do this to ourselves. It's not even our parents, it's not even our family, it's not even our friends. We do this to ourselves. When we make a mistake, we go back onto it being like, do we really do that? How dumb are we? And we hate ourselves for it, and I just don't think that is right. I say, when you do something wrong, you learn from it and really show you're sorry, bro, especially counting on what you do, and learn from it. Things can be handled in better ways than they are handled on a regular, but again, we're all trying our best, and we're all humans. And something that you always need to remember when you're a kid is your parents are growing up just like you. That is something that when I realized, I blew my mind. I was like, wow, my mom was 20 and now she's 30. She grew up. Like in 10 years, I'm gonna go through and she had a kid also. That's insane. Shout out to all the parents. Y'all are doing great. Never doubt yourselves, really. Never doubt yourselves. But also take care of yourselves as well. Because please know that the negativity or that energy or that hate or whatever you feel towards other people, if you put that on your kids will remember, and that can hurt your kids. And I'm not sitting here trying to parent because I don't know how to parent, but I do think we all need to take care of ourselves. I think we need to teach kids how to take care of themselves, their emotions. We need to teach teenagers how to take care of ourselves, our emotions. We need to teach adults, especially parents. There are parents who literally work back to back, take care of their kids, never do anything for themselves. Literally, you don't think they're tired. You don't think that they want to break. So if something bad happens at work and they have a day and they go home and the kid does something stupid, of course they're gonna snap on the kid. Of course, that makes sense. I've snapped at people when I'm pissed off from other situations, and it's not right. So I think we should all learn how to take care of our emotions, and that's why I push the balance of your mind, body, and spirit. Take your time. Take your time to take care of yourself. Take those days off. You really deserve it, especially when taking care of kids. Ooh, kids are crazy. I wanted to actually read a page, and this is page 17, and I'm just reading my highlighted parts. But in page 7, it says, "Death is not the biggest fear we have. Our biggest fear is taking the risk to be alive. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear of humans. We have learned to live our lives trying to satisfy other people's demands. We have learned to live by other people's points of view because of the fear of not being accepted and of not being good enough for someone else. During the process of domestication, we form an image of what perfection is in order to try to be good enough. We create an image of how we should be in order to be accepted by everybody. Trying to be good enough for them, we create an image of perfection, but we don't fit this image. We create this image, but this image is not real. We're never going to be perfect from this point of view. Never." And just because he says another passage later on, but he says we are not good enough for ourselves because we do not fit with our own image of perfection because we choose it from other people. Take that chapter, that page as it is, but do you see how strong just one page is? It really hits. It's not no fluff, no bullshit, no nothing. It's just right then and there. It really makes you think. So that's not even the start of it. The first agreement out of the 4 agreements is be impeccable with your word. To speak with integrity and only say what you mean. Avoid speaking against yourself and others. So your word is power that you have to create. So that's why I sit here and talk about manifesting. You can sit here and manifest good, and you can manifest bad. You can use your words for good. You can use your words for bad. You can use your words to make something better, to grow something, and you can use your words to break something down, aka someone. You can sit here and tell someone they are so beautiful and grow them and let them and they'll feel it. They'll feel they're beautiful. They'll feel they're great. Or you can grow someone up thinking that they're ugly and horrible, and that is what they will think. So I know we can slip up and we can say things when we are not we're not meant to say. And I know sometimes you can get lost in the gossip. Shoot, I used to gossip. I still sometimes do. But that's okay though, because I try and catch myself. When I do catch myself, I catch myself. If I don't, I realize later and I say sorry for it, and I make sure that I try not to do it again. You're not gonna be able to change the way you think and change the way you act and change everything in a second. It's gonna take time. Everything takes time. So if you can be impeccable with your word, if you can watch out for what you say, because the words, like he says, can be a sword with two edges. I personally would take that as words can be good and they can be bad. You can choose to be good with it, or you can choose be bad with it. And he kind of explains it's like creating a spell, and it really is, because growing up being told you're not good enough, being told you need to do better, being told all this stuff, you're not perfect, you're not this, you're not that, you start believing in it and you start thinking it. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure that's why I was so horrible to myself, because I just got used to saying that, because to me, that's what people knew me as the one who was this, that, all these bad things, and all I would do was tell myself those bad things, and I wasn't that. I was more than that. I'm me. I'm Kat. Be impeccable with your word, and if you aren't, understand you weren't. If you understand you were mad and realize, okay, maybe I have to stop when I'm angry, or stop speaking when I'm angry, walk away at this point, figure out how you can be the best version of yourself even in a tough situation. Also, gossiping is not being impeccable with your word. Talking about other people is not cute. It isn't. I've done it. We've all done it. We're all kids. We've all talked about someone because I listen to my family gossip about my family, and sometimes I join into it, and it's not right, but that's what I grew up with. So how can you expect kids who grow up with that stuff to not do it? You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying, if you're a parent, you're the start of a change in your household. You're starting the change in your kid. If you see them doing some talk to them, speak to them, see where they're getting this from, and help them understand. You don't want to know that your kid hurt someone, and you don't want to know that your kid had any reason to that. You want to know that your kid helped someone. You want to know that your kid is doing good. And that starts with words and what they say and how they act. And this goes for adults too, because adults still be gossiping, but then you really have to go back and see where it stemmed from. And that's why I keep pointing at kids. If I didn't get out of the mindset I was in, I would still been stuck in that mindset, still been saying all those things about people. Like, I would still been in that. And that's not because like I saw a freaking one TV show. It was because I grew up into that. I grew up in that mindset. I grew up into that life. And that's all I knew. And then I found out about manifesting. I found out about gratitude. I found out about chakras. And I found out about all of this stuff and energy. And I was like, wow, like when was I gonna learn this? I didn't learn this in fucking school. Maybe if I learned how to align my chakras in high school, I would be in a better position now. For real. Second point, don't take anything personally. He talks about how taking anything personally is a maximum expression of selfishness, and he kind of explains to it of you're thinking about yourself. So if someone says something, right, you automatically think it's against you. And this is something I actually struggle with. I always think that if something's bad, it's about me, and I take everything personally. And I actually, I used to have really I would have more arguments with my boyfriend because I would take everything so personally. And reading this book, and then when we have conversations, I try to make sure I say, okay, it's not personal. Like if he's stressed out with his stocks and he comes off a little agitated, it's not because of me, it's because of his stocks. So I make sure to tell myself, okay, don't take it personally, because before that used to ruin my whole day, and it's not his fault. He's a human, so am I. And I just take emotions way much harder than he does. And so that's where I needed to figure out, and that's what I figured out. I was taking so much things personally, and sometimes I still do because it's a habit. It's weirdly a habit. So breaking out of that, and like, you can talk to yourself like when you're thinking, you're just like, sometimes you have to say in your head, don't take this personally, like, you're good, like, it's not for you, just they're agitated, just go do what you have to do. It'll all pass by. But if you stay stuck in it and you think that they hate you and you think that they're pissed off at you and you start getting pissed off at them because you don't know why they're pissed off at you, it doesn't work out. It's just a whole turmoil of badness. If anyone does anything, it's because of themselves. Don't ever think that anyone does anything because of you. If someone's pissed off, don't take it personally. Don't think it's because of you. It's because of them. They're choosing to become pissed off over the situation. They're choosing to become pissed off over the thing. So let's put it like this, right? Let's say you have a problem with your significant other, right? There's something happening and you are talking to them about, let's say that they keep commenting on people's pictures on the different genders, saying, oh, you're cute, handsome, you look great. Like, this goes for a boy or girl, it doesn't matter, right? Let's say you bring this up to them and you're like, hey, this makes me feel really uncomfortable because you are my person. And then them start blowing up on you like, why are you saying that? What do you mean? Do you think I'm cheating on you? Are you serious? Blah, blah, blah. And what does that make you do? Sometimes it can either infuriate you or it can make you shut down, and then you never ask and you're like, I made them pissed, it's my fault. No, it's not your fault, it's their fault. They chose to blow up over the situation. You asked a simple question, you asked for a simple favor, you asked them to explain something, you asked them to do an action which makes complete and utter sense, and they chose to blow up on you. You did not cause that, they caused that. Don't ever blame yourself for that, okay? By taking things personally, you set yourself up to suffer for nothing. Like, literally, like I said, my boyfriend would probably be annoyed at stocks, and then he would kind of like get agitated, and then I would take that against me, and then I would have a horrible day because I thought I did something, and I would suffer for no fucking reason when he's not even mad. Literally, do not take things personally. Whatever someone does is that's their okay? You are only responsible for you. So you are responsible for you, your significant others are responsible for them, your mom's responsible for herself. Everyone's responsible for themselves, okay? That's why I say work on your health. So do not take anything personally. Really do not, okay? If someone does something, that's because they chose to do something, okay? If you ask someone to do something, right? They do it and they get hurt doing it, right? It's not your fault. Of course it happened. Shit. Let's try and fix it, but it was not your fault. Don't sit here and be like, oh my god, I'm the reason he sprained his ankle, blah, 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 blah. Maybe he walked on the ladder wrong. Maybe he did a wrong step. Maybe his ankle was gonna get sprained either or. Maybe he had weak ankles and he had to wear something. You never know. So don't put other people's shit on yourself. Of course, be there for other people, listen to other people, but do not put their emotions on you, okay? You have your own emotions to deal with. Deal with your emotions, and so will they. Don't make assumptions. That is the third point. We make so much assumptions because we are afraid to ask questions, and I think that's the realest fucking line ever, bro. You know how many assumptions I would make during class? I would not even ask a question. You didn't catch me raising my hand for anything, bro. And I would be confused sometimes. I'd be like, I don't even know what this person's talking about. This was me in history. I was like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Please don't pick me because I'm not paying attention. It came to a point that half of the teachers never picked me because they knew I didn't know. Like, that's what would happen. But don't make assumptions. Ask questions. I wish I asked questions. I would have learned things that, because when When you ask questions, you're getting your answer. Okay, let me put it like this, okay? If someone has a question, right? If Billy has a question about the Civil War, and he raises his hands about the Civil War, and the teacher explains the Civil War, if you don't care, you're not going to pay attention, of course. But if you were to ask about the Civil War, right? So let's say you're confused about the Civil War, right? And you don't ask a question. You just missed an opportunity to learn something you didn't know about. Maybe if you ask the question, right, about the Civil War, when the teacher is speaking right at you, answering your question, you retain that information more because they're speaking to you. They're not just saying an overall phrase. They're answering your question. Ask questions. It's okay to ask questions. Yeah, literally, if you do not understand, ask. I do have in my little notes to read page 66 and 67 of this book. So that is what we are going to do. So 66 and 67. Making assumptions in our relationships is really asking for problems. Often we make the assumptions that our partners know what we think and what we don't have, and that we don't have to say what we want. We assume they're going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we assume they should do, we feel so hurt and say, "You should have known." Making assumptions in relationships leads to a lot of fights, a lot of difficulties, a lot of misunderstandings with people we supposedly love. In any kind of relationship, we can make the assumption that others know what we think and we don't have to say what we want. We have the need to justify everything, to explain and understand everything. So those were just the highlight parts. Don't think that the pages are really that short. They talk about relationships. I really do think that making assumptions in relationships is a big cause of a fight, because from what I realized, the only reason that me and my boyfriend will argue is because we make an assumption of what the other said without really knowing what each other said, even though we'll be confused and we won't say anything, and then we'll be we'll be arguing back and forth. And if we just understood each other, then we wouldn't have to argue for 20 more minutes. You get what I'm saying? So don't make assumptions. Ask questions. Be like, hey, what did you mean by that? So you can understand, and maybe you'll understand. Number 4, always do your best. Your best on a good day is different than your best on a bad day. Please always remember that. You can be feeling amazing one day and get thousands of things done, and then be feeling shitty another day and get one thing done. But as long as you did your best, that's all that matters. Point blank, period. You are here to live happy, to be. You are here to live, to be happy, and to love. Never forget that. You're here to live, be happy, and to love. Always keep those things embodied in you, and really remember that, and really keep that, because if you love, there's no room for hate. If you love, there is no room for hate. I said read page 79. Let's go. 79. Doing your best is taking the action because you love it, not because you're expecting a reward. Most people go to work every day just thinking of payday and the money they will get from work they are doing. Me. It used to be me. They are working for the reward, and as a result, they resist work. They try to avoid the action, and it becomes more difficult, and they don't do their best. They work so hard all week long, suffering the work, suffering the action, not because they like to, but because they have to. They have all that frustration, and when they do receive their money, they are unhappy. I will leave that there as it be. I will let you know that I am much happier doing what I'm doing now than what I was making about 1,000 a week working at the 3 jobs and 90 hours a week I was working. I just want to put that there. And I was 18 doing that too, so that's a lot of money. Learning from your mistakes means you practice, look honestly at the results, and keep practicing. That's what I keep saying. When you fail, You look at it, you see what you did wrong, and you try and do it again. And you try and go better. And that's all you can do. It really is. So just to recap on the 4 agreements, be impeccable with your word is number 1. Number 2 is don't take anything personally. Number 3 is don't make assumptions. And number 4, always do your best. This is an amazing book. I think it is great. It explains a lot. And I wish that books like this were what we read in high school, because I feel like we aren't taught to look at anything more than what we are grown up to be. And there's more to life than just what we think of it. There's so much more. It's literally life. Like, you're not living life when you are stuck. You're just not. You're a robot. So don't get stuck. Live your life. Live happy. Have love. You got this. You are amazing. Don't ever feel discouraged. Even if you're stuck in that situation, I was stuck in it too. And it took a lot. It took a lot. It took a lot of courage, and it took a lot of faith to take that leap. I'm not saying quit your job, but I'm saying when you figure out something that you want to do and you really want to do it, if you have to work that job a couple more months to save up some money so you can go hard on what you're working for, if that's spending an extra hour working for what you want to work for to do what you love, then do it. You got this. You got this. So I hope you enjoyed this book review. If you liked this book review, please let me know, because I will do other ones. I do have multiple books I highlight, and I do try and read a book a month. Sometimes I'm able to, and sometimes I'm not. This book I read in October. I made this review now in November. I did not read no book in November though. So maybe I could get a book in December. So let me know how you guys think. But to wrap it all up, I'm super grateful for you listening to this episode and to future episodes. I hope to see you resolve those everyday burdens by helping you unify your mind, body, and spirit to reach true well-being. I really wish you guys could see what I do with my arms, because I'd be like flailing them and pretending like I can dance when I can't dance. But remember to subscribe, like, and comment if you loved my energy, and if I helped you in any way, shape, or form, because I would really love to know. And remember, you got this, you're amazing, and I cannot wait to see you in the next episode. See you soon.